Lots of people dream of starting their own business, but don't take a chance. Anand Patel and Swarthi Kumar are not two of those people. They had a vision, signed a lease for a business space, and opened Hidden Grounds Coffee in New Brunswick. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
So my first question is, why did you open this business?
Well, we were working at a corporate environment for about 4 years, and we were really good friends at the time, and we just wanted to kind of expand from what we were doing on an everyday basis. We just had this grandiose idea of postgraduate life, and going into work 9 to 5, sitting behind the cubicle was just not part of our personality. So at that point, we were just fascinated by the idea of starting something of our own. We didn't necessarily have a vision as to what it was going to be. And then it took sort of a lot of research and just traveling a lot to kind of hone in on what we wanted to do, and then bringing it back to, you know, what are we truly passionate about, you know, and she drinks a lot of coffee. I was just very passionate about opening something of my own, so we kind of combined both of those passions.
I'm so curious about that, though. So you go to school, you did all this studying, computers, right?
Yeah.
So you just kind of said, nah, I don't want to do that anymore.
Right.
Yeah. How do you do that? Was it scary?
Yeah, it was definitely a scary step because they're so used to knowing what you know, and stepping out of the boundary is definitely a huge risk to take. But you know, that was sort of inbuilt in us based on our family and based on our experiences growing up, and that was definitely something both of us wanted to do at some point. So it just happened to be the right step to take at that point of our life.
And so you're the coffee connoisseur, but I know, Anand, you never even drank coffee before. So why coffee? I mean, I feel like there's always a coffee shop. There's a Dunkin' Donuts. There's a Starbucks. There's all these. Why coffee?
Well, so what's happening? It's coffee is right now going through sort of a transformation period where people are not just looking at coffee as sort of a pick-me-up. Now people are truly caring about the ingredients of where it's coming from, where the coffee is grown, what's happening to the farmers that we're getting the coffee source from, what type of brewers are we using, right? People are preferring to go into restaurants and just service areas in general, which are designed for experience as opposed to just something that you can take out and eat very quickly. So coffee is going through that very similar transformation, and there was a huge opportunity for us to kind of bring our culture into what we wanted to do as well. So we were excited about that opportunity, you know. So if you see both of our stores, it has those elements of our culture integrated well with sort of our experiences in living in America as well. So yeah, we kind of blended both worlds together.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what makes you different, and I know even just from the spread we have here, you have donuts, you have bagels, but you have kind of the culture you're bringing from India here. Tell me how your coffee shop is different from any others.
Right. So just like you mentioned, there are a lot of elements in the Indian culture in terms of whether it's the taste or the ingredients that we use. So we really wanted to find that not just in our coffee, but in our food and our sandwiches. So what you have here is a Bombay sandwich, which has mint chutney, which is a very common spread and flavor that we use in a lot of our sandwiches. So you see that even in our tea, we do a masala chai, which is very prominent in the Indian culture in terms of drinking it during the afternoon or in the morning. So we try to get these elements in our shop, so you just get an overall very different experience of what we serve at Hidden Grounds.
Nice, and I know we sent somebody out to your shop and we spoke with a customer there. Let's take a listen to see what they had to say about it.
When you come in all the time, they know your name, they try to get to know you, and they also make you really great coffee.
All right, they seem to love it. And not only, so you opened the one shop, what, 3 years ago?
Yes.
And now you've already opened a second.
Yeah.
Why'd you open the second?
So in the past 3 years, we've learned a lot, not just from a business perspective, but also we have learned so much about coffee in itself. At the same time, we've made it a trade. And so at one point, we realized that because of the restriction, the space that we had, we weren't necessarily doing a lot of creative things around coffee that we really wanted to do. And because we wanted to source coffee from all over the world, because there's just so much good coffee that's being grown right now. And because of the space restriction, we weren't able to do that. So a second space made a lot more sense in the direction that we wanted to go in. Yep.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. And for more information, you can head to thehiddengrounds.com. We'll be right back.